everybody.
Hi.
This is the Horror Flick Chicks here, back for another episode of the Horror Flick Chicks podcast. And today we are recapping the season finale of Only Murders in the Building. All right. So we are season 4, episode 10, the last episode of the season. Everything is coming to a head. We already know who the killer is, but we have more details and more things.
Right.
We're gonna get right into it because we have a lot to talk about. We're gonna start off again by saying we're missing Angie again this week. Unfortunately, you know, people get busy and things come up, and but we have to get these things out to you. So we're here.
Life, life be lifing.
Life be life, and so we're here, getting you this information and this recap. Missing Angie. We'll be on another podcast episode soon, and we'll all be together. So,
Yes.
all right. Now, let's get started. So the name of this episode is called My Best Friend's Wedding. All right. As we all know, Oliver and Loretta are getting married at their Laconia this episode. So that's some of the story in this episode.
Right. It's kind of
Right.
a side story to
Exactly.
the full
So, but
murder.
we're gonna start off right where we're not gonna start where the last episode ended off. We're gonna start in the beginning of this episode. It was another little flashback of Saz, right? They showed Saz on the set of Brazos, and she's talking, and we're finding out some new things about her. Actually, we're finding out, she's doing a stunt for Charles, and we're finding out that she actually has osteoporosis. So you can tell that she's getting to the end of her stunt person career because
Yeah. Right.
it's taking a toll on her, and she's trying to figure out a way, her next act, I guess,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Next
That's
act. And that's how she decided to start writing
yes.
and getting into that. And she started writing the movie for Only Murders in the
Only
Building,
murder in the building.
podcast that Charles Oliver and Mabel were doing. Okay. And being that she was very good, or I don't know, very good friends with Charles, she listened to the podcast that they were putting out and decided to write the movie.
Yeah, she wrote the script
Her,
for the
her,
movie,
her next adventure and outside of
the stunts.
hunting.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got that information. And now we'll go back and we'll go back to where the last episode ended off. The last episode ended off, we found out that Marshall Pope, the director of the movie
No, the writer. The
show,
writer.
the
The
writer of
writer.
the movie in the show, is the killer. He killed Saz. And we
Yes.
found out that he was actually a stunt person that was Saz's protege.
Right.
And something happened on a set of a Ron Howard movie. This was the last episode that he was basically shunned from the stunt
Right.
community, and he was kind of got on to Saz's bad side, right? We get into a little bit more detail this episode about what actually happened,
Right.
how he became the protege, and then how he became kind of the outcast,
Right.
right? So we're gonna start talking about how. So the last episode we see that Oliver and Charles found out that Marshall was the killer, and they
Yes.
texted Mabel. Mabel was in her apartment with
With
Marshall,
Marshall
trying to get some help to rewrite some of
of the
the.
script.
He got the text. She got the text. Marshall saw it when she found the original script for Only Murders in the Building movie with Saz's name on it. She found it.
Right.
He saw the text, and that's how that episode ended. So this is starting right back there,
Right.
and he has a gun, and he pulled the gun out on Mabel, and he's basically holding her hostage. He's saying that he's gonna have to kill her, get rid of her, and she finagles a way to get him to continue rewriting because that's his passion, right? That's his
Right.
passion. He really wants to be this big writer,
He's big
and,
time writer. Yeah.
and she's kind of working on that part of him, and she's,
Yeah. She's trying to distract him from being
oh yeah, to just
this
automatically going.
killer to saying, "Hey, listen, I read part of the script, but like Mabel says this and this, but I wouldn't say that. Do you really want to put that in and
Right.
kind of giving him doubt on things that he wrote? And that's like getting at his writer side because he's
His
like,
writer
no, because
insecurities. Yeah.
he wants to make it good and he wants to make it look good.
Yes.
So yeah,
So she gets him to do that, to sit down and kind of work on it.
oh,
And
yeah,
in the meantime, Oliver and Charles are in Oliver's apartment and they're talking
yes,
and they're across the way, right? They're on the east complex and
and
she's
they
on the
see
west.
that Mabel is there
She's in
with
the west
Marshall,
town.
so they
But they're
know that.
talking and they're saying, we texted Mabel a little while ago. She hasn't written back. What's going on? And then they get a text from Mabel's phone, and it's Marshall, and he's saying,
Yeah,
I have Mabel here. If you come to the door, I'm gonna kill her.
yeah.
Don't make any moves. So they're trying to figure out how to get there. And Charles is, they're both freaking out. And Charles is thinking, all right, I'm gonna go. I have to do this facade. I'm
Well,
gonna
they
go on the
figure,
ledge.
before, yeah, but right before that, they figure out because they were trying to figure out, while they were trying to piece all this stuff together with how the killer got from the west building all the way to the east building
Right,
to uh get Saz remove the body in like 20 minutes or about that it took because it takes much longer to do that and then put her in the incinerator and all that stuff. And then they figured out because remember there was a shoe print on the ledge, which at first I think that they thought it was just the killer might have put his foot up there for leverage to shoot the gun or something like that. But then they realized that's how he got across so fast. He went out on the ledge because remember he was a stunt guy. So he climbed up on the ledge and walked the ledge to Charles's apartment where Saz was,
yeah,
and Saz was still alive, and Saz saw him, and he basically watched her die. He
yeah,
didn't help her,
yeah.
and then after that they don't show it, but we know what happened. He dragged her, put her in the incinerator. So right, so this is now we're gonna get to where Charles and Albert are trying to figure out what to do, how they're gonna get to Mabel, because if they get to the door, they won't be able
Well,
to.
they were told not to go to the door, so they don't
If they
want
go
to
to the
do
door, right,
that.
they're gonna endanger her
They don't want to
life.
do that, right? So Charles is thinking, all right, I'm gonna walk the ledge from our side of the building to theirs. And I was like, all right, you're doing this by yourself. This is where the comedy comes in, right? He's
Yeah,
like, all right, guy, you going by yourself. I'm not doing that.
right,
So, and it's kind of crazy, but Charles is like, I'm doing this for Sass, I have to do and for Mabel, right?
right, of
But
course,
but then Oliver's like, wait, why don't we go over to Vince's? He's right
right.
next door, and you can go from the ledge from his apartment over. That's a shorter distance,
And he
and that's
won't,
better.
and Marshall won't think that
Won't
we're
even
coming
know
this
that you're
way.
coming that way. Exactly. So that was the plan. They went over and they're telling them, look, we know who the killer is. He's over there with Mabel. We have to get over there. We have to figure out a way. So they do that. They go on the ledge. I was
Yes,
kind of freaking out when they were looking over
yeah.
the ledge and they're so high up off the ground.
And it's funny, you see the courtyard all decorated for Oliver's wedding.
I know. I was like, when they first went on the ledge and Charles went on the ledge and he went out, he went front facing, like facing out. And
Yes,
the first thing I was thinking about, you should be facing in. That's what I
yeah,
would have been, because at least you could kind of grab
yeah,
onto the sides of the
yeah.
windowsills or the bricks or something. But
I know.
anyway, he's out there and he's kind of freaking out. They show him for like a minute or two, freaking out, trying to walk over. And then after a little while, Oliver comes out because Charles is kind of frozen in fear. He can't move, he can't go anywhere. He's by himself. And then he goes, and Oliver says, I'm here to help you, buddy. I was like, oh my God,
Yeah, it's basically like you my boy. I'm not letting you do
yeah,
this
but I was like, these
yourself.
two old guys are on this ledge on, I don't even know what floor they're on. Like, that's crazy.
They
But
they rather die.
they write out that for sure. And they go on, and then they have some funny moments on the ledge, Oliver's like, we need to turn around. We can't
The
go
face
face,
the face.
we
Right.
have to face the wall and kind of inch over. And he was like, yeah, we're gonna merengue over.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring you over, and that's our wedding dance. So I'll show you what to do. And they're like getting
And
over to
step
the
and slide,
I
step and slide, step and slide.
that was funny. They get they get over to Mabel's window, and in the meantime, Charles had called Vince. Vince was in his apartment with Christmas Every Day guy, and he called them and said to form a distraction. He said, go over to the apartment. They already knew that the killer was in Mabel's apartment. So
Right,
he told them, go over, knock on the door, and just like, be a distraction. So they went over and they were asking for like sugar or something because they were making, we need sugar, and they were being like insistent.
right,
And Marshall was at the door trying to talk to them, saying like Mabel's not here, and
right.
trying to get
And
them to
wasn't
go.
and try yeah, that was the point to keep him from not facing the window when they were
Right. Trying to
facing
get,
the
he was
window.
trying to get them to go away, but they were really like insistent, and he was there for a little while. Meanwhile, Mabel's sitting on her bed, and then you see Charles and Oliver at the window tapping at it, and she comes out and she sees them, she opens the window, they come in, and Charles does some stunt person moves. I was like, oh, this is great. I was watching this like it was a movie. I wish I was watching it on like a movie screen because it was really cool. And he comes in, they come in, and then you see Marshall turn around and see them, and then
Yeah.
Charles does this like jump, twist, turn
Yeah.
around thing, and goes and he takes that tool, the Eva Longoria tool, that multi-tool thing that
Yeah,
she
that
had.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of like a gun, and it has all these different settings and stuff. It's like a
It's like a
gun
nail
and
gun and it's a whole bunch of
a bunch of
stuff.
stuff, and then he's like holding it out and stuff, and he actually does something and shoots it, and a couple nails come out, and then he gets like freaked out, and then Oliver kicks the gun out of his hand and takes it. I was like, ah.
Yeah.
I thought it was so cool. So then they're there. So they have the gun and the other two pointing at Marshall. And this is where Marshall starts talking about what happened.
What?
From the time
Yes.
he basically from the time he met Saz, oh, not from met Saz, from when the whole thing happened on the Ron Howard film until he killed Saz.
Right.
So we know, because we just spoke about it, that Saz started writing the script for Only Murders in the Building movie.
Right.
She's at the apartment and at this time, and at this point, Saz and Marshall are what was his name? His name wasn't Marshall, it was
It was Rex.
Rex, right? They were friends, friendly,
She took
and
a liking to him and
yeah. So she says, and she knew that he was trying to write and be a writer because
right.
that's kind of
And
how they met.
she's the one that was kind of encouraging him more like, well, now that
You should try and
if this is
try
not going to do this,
stunting.
you should go back to starting to write and doing what you
Yeah,
love.
exactly. And then she's like, "Oh, well, I've actually been writing this script. I haven't, no one's read it. Can you just read and let me know your opinion?"
Right.
And this is the first thing she ever written. This is not her career, so she doesn't really know
Right.
anything about this, but she's trying something else. He read it and he's thinking this is like the best thing I've ever read, but he can't tell her that because he's jealous.
He's jealous. Yeah. He's like, I've been
He
writing
doesn't
all
want
these
her.
years,
How
and
can
this is just your first
thing and
time
it's
writing,
and
and it's
she
really good.
right. So he tells her, it's really not that good.
Not very good. Yeah.
So, it was a nice try, but really not that good, and you shouldn't do it. And he's like, if you want, I can take it and maybe do some edits and rewrites, and
Right. I can make a
maybe it
copy
can
of it
rework and do
and
something
help
else.
you. Right.
Right. So that's how gets his hands on it. I think he said he was gonna make a copy and then he can do
Yeah. He
the
said going to make a copy. Yes.
so she was like, yeah, that'd be great, thank you. So that's how he got his hands on it. And eventually, obviously, he reworked it to be his own
Right.
movie. She and time goes by, and he puts this out there, and he's trying to get an agent, he says, and then he gets Bev Mellon. That's how he gets his script in front of Bev Mellon, and she's
Right.
like, all right, we're gonna get this movie greenlit, and it's gonna go. And things went so fast and progressed, and Saz found out and confronted him
Right.
and said,
She found out because some friends of hers reached out to her to see if she wanted to be a part of this new movie. So they
yeah, as a
sent her
stunt
the script.
person, right?
So
Right.
she saw the script and she realized, wait, this is my script.
Right.
What's going on?
Right. So she confronted him and she says, "Look, I know you stole my movie. I'm gonna tell everybody. Basically, I don't care. I'm telling everyone this is not right. You stole my movie."
Right.
And that's where, and, he's on this projection to go places, right? And he
Right.
didn't want anything to mess that up. So
Right.
that's where he decided he has to do something.
Right.
And his decision was to get rid of her.
Right.
That was the plan. So it was always the plan to get rid of her. It was never because early on in the season, they were thinking someone was trying to kill
Kill
Charles.
Charles. Right.
It wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
It was always the plan to kill Sass.
That was right.
Right. So that's
He
that's
was
the
stalking
revelation
her
there.
from he was stalking her from Dudanov's apartment, and he
Yeah.
saw her in the street and he couldn't get a shot, and then he saw her in the apartment.
Right.
So that's where he shot because he almost didn't do it.
Yes.
And then he said, "No, I got to because she's gonna expose me." And she shot him. And supposedly growing up, he was a hunter. That's how he's so good with he's a good
With the
marksman, so he's
guns.
good with
Yeah.
guns and everything. So because he just did one shot and he got her. So
Right. So that's how that whole thing happened. Um, so they find out that, and then we see, well, we're gonna tell this because things happen in between. They cut off to different things, but we're gonna tell, I guess, stories by story, so it
yeah,
kind of stays
yeah,
consistent.
yeah,
So he finds all that stuff out, and Charles and Oliver get like kind of distracted a little, and he does his stuntman. Marshall does his stuntman move, gets the gun, kicks it
the
out
gun.
of the hand, and gets the tool, gets the
Right.
right. So he has them now.
Now he has them at gunpoint.
Right. So he's ready to eliminate
Get
them.
rid get rid of all of them.
And there's a little speech that happens, and he's ready to eliminate them. And then you hear a shot come through the glass, through the window, and Marshall falls, gunshot. He's dead. It's coming from across the courtyard, across the way. You look, and then they're like, "What's going on? Who did this?" They go to the window and they look over at the apartment, and it's Jen. Jen. I didn't expect that at all.
No, me either.
It was Jen, and they obviously she's protecting Charles because she's Charles, but
Yes.
she killed him. She saved them.
she was in the beginning of the season,
Yes,
and she broke out of jail
yes,
because she was Charles's girlfriend, or she was dating Charles in season one, and she ended up being the one that killed Tim Kono
yeah,
in season one.
yeah.
So she broke out of jail and she came, and she was
She
in
was
the
kind of on
apartment.
and there was a little bit of time she was kind of on the loose in New York because they were at
Right,
some point the cops were looking for them and they came for her and they came to the apartment asking questions
right,
and things. So she
right,
was like on the loose. I completely counted her out. I wasn't thinking about her at all.
right. And apparently she's been hiding in Charles' apartment for 3 weeks. How'd you get here? Say, I've never left. She said, that you've been here?
And I guess the funny thing is that because Charles has been out, he went to his sister's. He was
That's true. They
in
they
Oliver's
left the building
apartment a
for
lot. He
they
was in the
left the
West
building
Side a
for a
lot.
while because they thought somebody was trying to kill them there, and that's
Yeah,
right.
and then he was on the West Side a lot. He was in Charles in
Yeah,
Oliver's
that's
apartment a
true.
lot. So he wasn't really like there. So I guess I could see that, and he wouldn't notice.
Yeah.
But she seems slick. I mean, I don't know where she was hiding, but that he
I
wouldn't
think
see
she
her.
was
But
still in that closet. In the closet where she first
that's crazy.
hiding. And she also said that she was in because the Arconia has some tunnels,
Yes,
and she was kind of in the tunnels too, hiding.
I don't know. But
So yeah, you're right. She
so
saved them.
so essentially, Jan saved them.
Yes.
They cops came, they took her away, so she's back in jail, I presume. No, okay, she's gone. So he's dead. Killer's dead, right? We
Right.
solved Sal's murder, so that's good. Um, then we get to Charles. Then we get to Oliver and Loretta's wedding. It was really sweet.
Yeah.
I feel like this whole show had a theme, and the theme was friendship.
Yeah.
I feel like you could tell the heavy friendship between Charles Oliver and Mabel, just the way that they were really worried about her when they found out that he was,
Right.
she was with Marshall or Marshall was with her. And, the fact that they went out on the ledge to try and save her,
Right.
and the friendship with Oliver and Charles, the two of them together, and then Oliver and Loretta,
Yeah.
like really sweet. And even Loretta was saying like, because so Loretta came from her shoot, movie
Mhm.
shoot,
A
or
movie
TV
shoot.
show shoot to come to get married at the Arconia. And she's saying that, oh, they need me to move to Switzerland. Is it Switzerland?
I thought it was New Zealand.
New Zealand, New Zealand. They want me to move to New Zealand the day after tomorrow. And so, we're gonna get married, then I'm not gonna see you. He was like, don't worry, I'll move with you. That's what people do when they get married. They move for their spouses. And so I guess that was gonna be the plan.
Right.
And she was getting a little bit sad because she knows that she was gonna take Oliver away from his friends.
Right.
And it was, so it was this whole friendship. I would say both friendship and love. Friendship and
Yeah.
love. And
They go together.
yeah. And so the wedding was really nice. And then I'm sorry, Loretta, is coming down the aisle with her son and
And
Oliver's
Oliver's
son.
son.
It was so sweet. I didn't
And
expect
Charles,
that.
I like that Charles and Mabel were like Oliver's like best man and
Yeah, yeah,
bestie.
yeah, yeah. It was so cute. I loved it. And the son's walking her down was really we saw Loretta's son and Oliver's son in previous seasons. So
Yeah.
we knew them when I knew them when I saw them
Yeah.
so it was really nice that they came for that and they brought them back for that. And so that was nice. The wedding was really sweet. It was in the courtyard. They had it was beautiful, all decorated really nice. They had the little bar there, they had food and
And
they
the
had
dance
everything. It was
floor. Yeah.
yeah, it was really cute. And then they're talking and they're saying about, okay, well, I'll meet up with you in a couple days out there, and don't worry, we're gonna be together. And it was like really sweet.
Yeah.
And I hope Meryl Streep stays around for more seasons. I don't know
Yeah.
how many more seasons of this show is gonna be. We know
I mean,
there's
there's one more coming
We know
up.
there's going to be
Hopefully she's
another
at least
one
in that
in
one.
season
Yeah.
five, but after that, I'm not sure. But I hope Meryl Streep stays
Yeah.
with it because she's good.
She's
Even
such a good character on the show.
yeah, and even her coming in just every so often
Right.
is like nice. Yeah, she doesn't have to be in everything, but it's because it's mainly about the three of them, right? But
Right.
anyway, so that whole wedding thing was really sweet, really nice, and they get married and that's all. And Loretta, the next day or the day after, Loretta goes in her
Yeah.
car to go to the airport because she has to go back to the shoot, going to New Zealand now, so she's traveling. Then Oliver and Charles and Mabel together and talking, and they're in Mabel's apartment, and they're hold on, I wrote down notes. I'm trying to get um yeah. And then Charles, okay, they do that. Okay, I didn't write anymore. Let's continue. And then they're all talking, and they're he's talking about he's going to be going to
Leaving.
New Zealand and everything, and lots of like funny moments, and just being um just showing their love for one another, I
Yeah.
think, and it was just like really sweet moments. I feel like this season, this episode specifically, has been the most emotional kind of,
Yeah. Like heartwarming.
yeah, that since even out of all of them. Like I found myself even on some of when they were like the wedding part and stuff, I was like I was getting like teary and stuff. It was like really cute.
It was really sweet.
Yeah. And so they're talking and everything, and they're going back to the corner, going back to apartment, and then you see someone coming out of the elevator.
Well, Charles and Mabel are by themselves
Charles
at
and
this.
Mabel, you're right. Somebody's coming out of the elevator, and it's Tia Leone.
Yes, the
She's
actress Tia
there,
Leone.
and she's like, oh, and she says, I went to your apartment, you weren't there. I'm sorry if I'm bothering you. And she said, my name is Sophia Petramilio. I don't know. We don't know who she is. This is a new
No,
character,
yeah,
right? I need help finding locating my husband.
yeah. She said, I want to hire you to
I
find
want
my
to hire you
husband.
to find them. And then Charles is like, well, we only um solve mysteries in the building.
Yeah, like we don't
We don't
do.
go outside the building. We solve mystery from in the building.
Yeah,
Whatever. And she said, well, I really am I'll pay you handsomely. I need help finding this person. It was a really small interaction,
yeah. She said
which
that she said it seemed that her husband's been missing for a while, and the police haven't been able to find him.
yeah,
So I guess she's maybe I guess she's a fan of theirs. She has to be to know them.
who
And
they
so
are.
they're good at solving mysteries and things like that. So maybe they can solve the mystery of this and help to find him in the
Right,
process.
right. So, it was a very brief interaction. We don't know who the husband is.
Yeah,
Like we don't know what he does or what he looks like or anything like that.
right.
Um, we don't know why he's missing. We have no information. Only that this lady came to them for help.
Yeah.
And
And
then
they
she
just
kind of
basically said, no, we
and,
don't do that. And she said, well, here's my card. If you change your mind,
and just contact me.
just
Exactly.
contact me.
So she
And
left.
they go in the elevator and she walks, and she kind of turns back and looks at them, and then she walks out. And then
And
we don't
that's it
see
for
her.
them. So I can only assume that she'll show up next season
Right.
at
It
some
seems like
point.
this is the start for what's going to be going on next season. They'll probably be doing some other investigations possibly for this woman.
Yes,
Or
yes,
they'll meet up again with this woman in some way and get involved with that.
yes.
And the episode's almost ending, and but we know season 5 coming, and the show's called Only Murders in the Building, right? And every season there's a murder in the building.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen anything going on. So, after a little while, all three of our friends are walking out of the building, just talking, and they're walking into the courtyard, and then they stop. All three of them stop and gasp.
Well, first I saw when they were walking and they were walking past the fountain, I saw the red water and I was like, oh, I saw it a little bit. And it's like
Yeah,
something's
there was
happening here.
they kind of panning towards the fountain, and the water in the fountain that's on the base of it is red. So it's okay. Right away you're like, okay, something's in there, or somebody's in this blood. Oh no. And they pan, and who, oh, I hate this. Who is laying in the fountain? The beloved doorman Lester.
Yeah.
Who would want to kill Lester?
I don't know. Now, like I'm stumped about that.
I know.
So we'll see. The only
Because he's been in all the seasons,
Yeah,
not playing very big parts, a very big part. He just kind of shows up here and there when they're walking in the building and they have casual interactions and things like that. It's like kind of
right,
funny little interactions,
right,
but there hasn't been anything with like a story set around him.
right.
So now, obviously, there's some kind of story that involves him. And could it be possible that he's connected to this mysterious woman
That's what
that
I was gonna
wants
say.
to hire uh these guys to help find her husband? I mean, we don't know
I was like,
because
maybe that lady seemed like she was rich. I think maybe she got somebody to kill someone in the building, so they have to solve something, and
oh,
they'll connect to her and the trying to find her.
who knows?
Because I can't see anything else. But
But
we never see
we
what
never know.
we never know.
We
Right.
never know what's going on with this show,
We
so
never
it could
know.
be
So
anything.
I mean, it could be something of a mistake. They try to kill someone else and they got Lester. Like,
Right.
I don't
We
know.
don't know.
So
But
I mean,
I'm really pissed off at this because I like Lester.
folks,
He didn't do anything to anyone, as far as I know.
I know. This
But
is
we don't know. He probably did. We don't
this
know.
is how it ended. Another murder in the building, as we suspected would happen.
Right.
And yeah, I'm
We'll
excited.
find
I'm
out
sure
next
we
season
have to
what's
wait
going on.
till another year or something to see
Probably.
next season. So it'll be a while, but I'm sure they'll come up with a great story again.
Mhm.
And yeah, who killed Lester? That's the question now.
That's the question now.
That's the question. So, I mean, that's the end, folks. That's the end of season 4 here. And I hope you enjoyed following these recaps. We love coming here and talking about the shows with you. Again, we are the Horror Flick Chicks, and we have our YouTube channel where this video is. So if you're on here watching, make sure you subscribe so you know when a new podcast episode comes in, and then you can watch it. And like the video, please. And also, please follow us on our social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Threads. Send us a message, send us a DM. Let us know what you think of the shows. Ask us questions. We love to hear from you. We also have our podcast streaming on several audio platforms, so you can check us out that way as well. We will be back for another podcast episode soon.
Yep, and most likely another recap of season 5 when it starts. And
Oh,
episodes.
definitely a recap of season 5 when
But
that comes
before that, but
out.
before that, we'll be back
We have
with some
we'll
other
have other episodes with other topics coming up on
yeah.
the podcast. So make sure you check us out. We have a lot of content on our YouTube, so check out our videos. Most of them are decent amount of time, so you're not taking a lot of time out of your day.
Yeah.
Have fun with us. We have fun doing these. Until next time, thanks again. Thanks for checking out these videos. Checking out these recaps with us, and we'll see you soon. And I guess if we don't see you for a little while, we'll say happy Halloween because
Happy Halloween.
it's soon. And we'll catch you next time. Thanks for joining, folks.
Bye.